It's a beautiful and clear winter day here in Portland, Oregon, and in today's video, we're going to be seeing 3 neighborhoods and 3 houses in each neighborhood in the 400K range. Along the way, I'll give you a tour of the local amenities, show you some of the selling points and some of the drawbacks of each neighborhood, and stick around till the very end because I am going to show you one of the most beautiful and amazing bridges in all of Portland. So we're starting off the video right here in the Sellwood neighborhood. And you may think behind me is the Willamette River, but this is actually not a river. This is the Oaks Bottom Wildlife Refuge. There are a lot of walking paths and trails through this area. It's a great place to kind of get outside. And on the other side, you can barely see it over there, is the Oaks Bottom Amusement Park. It's a pretty fun place to take the kids. And then beyond that is the Willamette River. So really cool thing about Sellwood, living in Sellwood, you get access to a lot of nature. It's right here bordering on the Willamette River. So you've got the Sellwood Riverfront Park, which is just down this way, just a little bit. You've got this, the Oaks Bottom Wildlife Refuge, and right here is the neighborhood of Sellwood. And there's a lot to see here, a lot of different types of housing that you can live in. So we're gonna get into that in a minute, but let's just take in this view. So it's pretty hard to point out any drawbacks about Sellwood because this is almost a nearly perfect neighborhood to live in. But one of the main drawbacks is it tends to just be a little bit more expensive. The median home price here tends to hover in the 600,000. So if you want to buy a house like this or like this, it's going to be a little bit more expensive, but you will see a little bit later in this video what you can get in the 400s. So not to fear, you can still plant your roots here in the historic Sellwood neighborhood without needing to spend even close to what the median home price is in this neighborhood. So stay with me. It's going to be really exciting to tour that house. So this is Milwaukee Avenue, Southeast Milwaukee. We're right here in the heart of Sellwood. And so that's one of the appealing selling points of this neighborhood is that it kind of feels like a small town. You know, there's actually a couple main hubs. Right here is Milwaukee. Then there's Tacoma where you have your grocery stores. There's also a grocery store a little bit further down Milwaukee here. And it just has this sort of nice small town vibe right here, and you got all sorts of stuff. You know, there's a bike shop right here. Right across the street, there's a movie theater. And right up here, there's a bunch of antique stores, all sorts of local businesses that you can explore. And that's a huge selling point for Sellwood. A lot of people move to this neighborhood because of that small town feel. It's only about 2 square miles here. So if you see, this is one of the main intersections. More restaurants go this way up this street. There's a sushi place that's pretty famous right over there. There's food carts up and down this street. And it's just a really lovely place to walk around. And because of how long this main street is, it makes living in this neighborhood very walkable. We're only 2 blocks away from this listing that we're about to see. So that's really awesome. Another big selling point of the Sellwood neighborhood is just how diverse and eclectic it is. You have so many different types of housing here. On this street alone, we have a very good mix of old classic craftsman style bungalows. If you look across the street here, there's just this classic Portland style. And then over there on the corner, we have some newer townhomes that were built in the last 5 to 10 years. And then up here, one of the listings that we're about to see, brand new construction. So you can live in whatever type of house you want here in Sellwood. So that's pretty cool. And in the 400,000s, you can live in some brand new construction. Right here is one of the houses. This is a bigger one. I think this one is going to be for sale in the 800s. But then over here, there are some what we call detached condos back there. So technically they're condos, but they're actually detached housing. And we're gonna go inside and take a look at those. So this is what it looks like from the front. There are multiple units here, and you have this little private pathway. All of these units are available. I'm pretty sure one of them is pending, but you've got this little kind of new little community back here. And this one is the one we're gonna go in and see. And right when you walk in, you have your kitchen. Very nice engineered hardwood flooring. Nice quartz countertops. Brand new state-of-the-art appliances. And it's very quiet in here. So that's one of the good benefits to having new construction. Got a little bathroom right here. This is a full bath. No, it's not a 3/4 bath. If you have a place to bathe, it's a full bath. And yeah, these newer construction houses are definitely very energy efficient here in Portland, and so that's a good thing. It's got this nice little yard space out here too. So even if you have pets, this is a good spot. Nice little patio. You could probably have this fully covered, I assume, if you want. Good little side yard over there with a gate. So it's, even though this is technically a condo, it still very much feels like its own separate home. I love this little gas fireplace. Let's go upstairs and see what it's like. And so this is currently listed in the 400s. Ooh, I love this accent wall in this bedroom. So yeah, you got 2 bedrooms up here, 2 bath, full bath, and it even has a bathtub. It's a very nice house. It's hard to believe that this is in the 400s. I would buy it. I like it because it has all these different mini splits in each room. So during the summertime, you can stay cool in each room, and it also does heating in the wintertime. Leave a comment down below what you think of this house, and if you're interested in buying it, let me know. It may or may not still be available when you're watching this, but there are multiple units here, as you can see. So they may be on the market for a bit, waiting for you to pull the trigger on it. So yeah, if you have a question about this listing or any other listings for that matter, my phone number is right there. So feel free to give me a call or text right now. Now we're leaving Sellwood and we're driving over to the next neighborhood, which is called Woodstock. And right here, as we're kind of exiting Sellwood, there's actually a train station, a Max station right here. So that's pretty cool. The Max rail can pretty much take you anywhere from the airport all the way out to the suburbs. And then we're getting right into the Eastmoreland neighborhood, and this is a big golf course. So if you're a big golfer, this Eastmoreland neighborhood is a pretty cool area to check out. And also nearby, something that's worth checking out is the rhododendron garden, which is something I didn't actually know about until a few years after living in Portland, but it's a really cool spot to just kind of go and explore, and it's a cool spot to have events. I'm pretty sure they have weddings there sometimes. And yeah, this is just, we're kind of cruising eastward in southeast here. Another thing that's pretty close to where we're at right now is the Reed College. So, but this is the beginning of Woodstock, and this is Woodstock Boulevard, or Southeast Woodstock Boulevard, excuse me. And there's a lot of cool stuff going on over here. There's some restaurants. There are indeed a couple grocery stores. You have your Safeway on one side of the street and your New Seasons right on the other side of the street. And so the thing about New Seasons is that it's a great place to shop, but it's very expensive. So you got to be able to afford shopping at New Seasons. So we're here on Woodstock Boulevard, and we're only about a half a mile away from this other listing. And this is one of the nice things about living in Woodstock is you have this nice little boulevard right here with a whole bunch of stuff. Like I pointed out a little bit ago, you've got so much going on here, some really good restaurants. So if you're into eating out and getting good food, there's a lot of good options here. As you can see right behind me, there's just a lot going on. This street can get some traffic, so that tends to be one of the drawbacks. And we're also a little bit tucked away in the middle, kind of deep southeast part of Portland. So if you have to get up to the airport or to the northeast, it can be a little bit tricky. It can take a little while. So, but we are gonna cross here. I really like this particular New Seasons because they've got this upstairs roof patio that you can go up there and eat. It's pretty dope. Should we go up there? Should we go up there and check it out? Let's go up there and check it out. It's worth it up there. Here's the inside of the New Season. It's kind of like the Northwest centric version of Whole Foods, I would say. And here we are. Hopefully it's not too windy. It's really windy up here. There's not a lot of people hanging out here today because it's super windy. I hope this content is even usable, but it's a pretty nice place to sit and chill on a nice day when the winds are calm. So we're right here, right by our next listing, courtesy of Cadwell Realty Group. And thanks to Don for letting us pop in here and see this listing. This is one in the low 400s. So this is could be a pretty good deal for someone looking on the lower spectrum of the price range here in Portland to buy a house on a nice quiet street surrounded by a bunch of other beautiful craftsman style properties. So we're gonna go in and take a look. There's a school right up the street, and let's see what's it like inside this $400,000 listing. It's just above 400,000. This is Woodstock once again. So this is kind of what it looks like on the outside. I always like to walk around, show people what the outside looks like on the listings. And this is like, you got a nice little backyard space, pretty good sized yard, because a lot of times here we're seeing smaller and smaller lot sizes in this Woodstock neighborhood. And it looks like there's even an alleyway with a gate that you can pull in, maybe some trailers if you have to store a boat or something. You know, it's a pretty fun thing if you want to go boating on the river. Looks like we've got a mini split air conditioning unit, so that's good. So here's the view from the front, and let's see what something that's a little bit cheaper. This is the low end of the 400s. Why is the FedEx guy always showing up in my videos? Yeesh. Here we go. So for those of you who think that Portland is just way too expensive, hopefully this video is kind of proving, I mean, not to say that 400,000 is a small amount of money, but since the median home price is considerably above that, this is a pretty cool option. Lots of natural light. Look at these big northwest facing windows. So this is gonna bring you a pretty good amount of light, especially pretty much for the whole day, especially in the summertime. And so yeah, it's a nice house. You kind of has this open layout when you first walk in. Nicely remodeled kitchen, living room space, and then you go back here and you have a couple bedrooms. Here's a bedroom, and here's a bedroom that's currently being used as an office. So yeah, I make a lot of these videos all the time for clients of mine that are looking to move to Portland potentially, but they can't tour houses in person. So I make videos just like this, and I have people that have, you know, purchased homes just from videos like this. And this is a quick run through, but if you were buying a house or interested, I would spend 20-30 minutes going through and looking at every little nook and cranny with you, so you can just really get a feel for the house and decide if it's right for you. So yeah, this is a cool one, very small, but 400,000, and you could live right here in the Woodstock neighborhood. And this is a pretty cool neighborhood, as you saw before. So what do you think? Leave a comment down below. So there you have it. There's a quick little tour of a house that you can buy here in the Woodstock neighborhood in the low 400,000s. So I'm pretty hungry, so before we go check out the next listing up in St. John's and that amazing bridge, there's a new food cart area over here that I want to show you. So let's go check that out. So here we are on a little bit different part of Woodstock. You got some more stuff. This is a pretty good burger place. You got the library, and then there's this new construction right here for apartment buildings. And there's a lot of what looks like vacant commercial space that's waiting to be rented out. So if you want to start a business, it could be a good opportunity. And then there's some good restaurants over here. This is a fun area of Woodstock. It's kind of underrated, and it's up and coming, and it's been developing more and more as the years go on. There's some Japanese food, little smoke shop there, and some unfortunate graffiti. And then you got a salon, and here is a new food cart area. And I'm thankful for places like this that are always opening up, and new food carts brings tons of new businesses to the area. And I'm just gonna walk in here and give you an idea of just how many different food options can fit into this tiny little space. I mean, there's barbecue over there, there's Cuban food, there's Mediterranean, there's this burger place, looks good. Asian cuisine, Thai food, shawarma, whatever you want, Indian food, so many options. I love these food cart pods. Cheesesteaks, sushi burritos, even some pretty good looking tacos. So as we are heading up into this last little neighborhood, one of the biggest drawbacks is that it's kind of a little bit isolated from the rest of Portland. So when you're heading up to St. John's, you gotta just kind of drive and keep driving and keep driving. And actually, it's a good time to mention, just to put it into scale, all of these trees that you see to the left here, this is Forest Park. And this is just to give you an idea of just the sheer size of this park. It is over 5,000 acres. There's around 80 miles worth of trails that go all the way through the park. It's massive. There's a reason it's called Forest Park, and it is because it's much more of a forest than it is a park. But you gotta keep driving, and then you start to see the St. John's Bridge off in the distance. And keep driving until finally we made it to the legendary St. John's Bridge. in all seriousness, I was being a little bit dramatic there. I mean, you do have to drive a ways, and it does feel a little bit isolated up here sometimes in St. John's, but we're only about 20 minutes from downtown Portland, so it's really not too bad. If you need to get into town for anything, it's a pretty easy drive. But here behind me is the magnificent St. John's Bridge. And this bridge is pretty special because it was built in the early 1930s. At the time the St. John's Bridge was built, it was the longest suspension bridge west of the Mississippi River. It was actually being built right around the same time as the Golden Gate Bridge, and it is by far the tallest bridge in Portland. Got over 200 feet of clearance underneath it, and those towers they stretch above 400 feet. So it's pretty epic looking. And similarly to the first neighborhood we were looking at, Sellwood, this town of St. John's, or this neighborhood, is right on the river. So you've got a lot of easy access to parks. This park right here is called Cathedral Park, and it's actually named after the sort of Gothic look of these towers on the St. John's Bridge. It's pretty cool, beautiful place to see. There's also boat docks right over here, so if you want to launch your boat into the river, this is a good spot to do that if you're into the water activities. There's lots of events here in the warmer months, and it's just a cool place to be. So it's a little bit isolated, but you'll see in a second that St. John's kind of has almost everything you need. And it's one of the more affordable neighborhoods here in Portland. So let's go check out the town. So despite being a little bit detached from the rest of Portland, it still has all of the amenities that you need right up here in St. John's. So it's got this really cool downtown area where you can often run a lot of different errands on foot. You know, you've got your vintage clothing store, you got your bank right here. There is a movie theater down there, as well as one of the most absolute best Mexican restaurants, Tienda Santa Cruz. There's coffee shops, there's restaurants, you know, and it's all right here in this little downtown area. There's even a Safeway and a Fred Meyer over here, as well as a New Seasons. So you really don't have to go into the rest of Portland if you don't want to. So it's a cool area, and it happens to be on the lower spectrum of the pricing here in Portland, and so that's why I wanted to highlight it in this video. You got your post office right over there. It is a very walkable, quaint little community, and similarly to Sellwood, it has sort of a feeling like it's its own little town, and it in fact used to be its own town at one point, just like Sellwood was. So there's your Safeway right over there, and then the downtown area where I was just walking right here, and just a few blocks that way is the river. This street here flows into the St. John's Bridge, and you've got all sorts of different types of housing, whether you want, you know, apartment style or condo living right there. And if you go a little bit farther down this way, just on the other side of downtown, of the downtown part of St. John's, you've got this sort of residential zone with, you know, the charming old classic Portland homes that make you feel like you're in Portland. And we're just kind of cruising around the perimeter of this downtown area by a block or two, just to show you what the houses look like. And we're coming up pretty close to this listing that we're gonna check out. And in the back there, you can see Pier Park, which we're gonna go pop into right now before we go inside this other house. So this is Pier Park. This is right here in St. John's. There's the neighborhood. Here's the park. This is an 85-acre, very well-forested park, and it's pretty awesome. There's these trails you get to walk around on. There's a frisbee golf course in here. There's a baseball field. I mean, it's got everything that you want in a lovely forested, old growth forested park here in Portland. And it's just around the corner from this listing that we're about to walk into. So I wanted to take the opportunity to show you this park first. So that's the cool thing about St. John's. You know, you're a little bit far from the rest of Portland, but you also have this park, you have Cathedral Park right on the river, and you have the quaint little downtown area with all the amenities you could need. So if you lived here in St. John's, you may find yourself not really venturing out of St. John's too much unless you need to. And if you do need to, it's not too bad. 20 minutes to downtown, 20 to 25 minutes to Southeast Portland. So it's a good spot. So here we are at this last listing here. It's listed here in the mid 400s in St. John's, and just listen to how quiet it is here. And as you can see, right there at the end of the street is where Pier Park is. So that's just how close it is, how good of a location this is. 400,000, 450, I think it's listed around. And the listing agent told me that they've gotten offers. So by the time you're watching this, it's probably already going to be sold. And this video isn't really meant to break your heart or anything. It's just kind of meant to give you an idea of what you can get for your money in the 400,000s. And this listing is looking pretty good so far on the outside, and let's go in and check it out, huh? So it's got a 1-car garage. Looking up on the roof, it looks pretty good. Maybe a little bit of moss growing, and walking around the outside, the paint looks great. And nice little backyard. Pretty good sized backyard, and you got a little shed back here. Can get another look at the roof. But yeah, let's go inside and take a look. It's nice. All right, so I got my booties on because all you boot wearers out there know how annoying it is to have to undo the boots. But look at this huge window. This is an east facing window, so you'll get a lot of morning sun here, and then the sun will set that way. So during the later part of the day, it might not have as much natural light. And yeah, like I said, this house, when you're watching it, is probably gonna already be sold. Someone saw something in it that they loved, and it makes sense because it's a nice little house. You've got 1, 2, 3 bedrooms and 1 bath. And it looks like they've done some updates, some remodels. The floor is in really good condition. And I love this kitchen. It's just really open, so you can be cooking and have some friends over, hanging out in the living room. You know, it's small. This is about a 900 square foot house, but you've got a good sized garage. It's a 1-car garage, but a good amount of space in here. And yeah, what do you guys think? Would you buy this house? 450, 460 range? Let me know down below in the comments which neighborhood you like the most, which house you like the most. And definitely feel free to reach out if you want to go see any houses here in Portland. So yeah, there you go. That's what you can get in Portland in the 400s. You know, so it's definitely possible to get into a home, even a detached single family home here in Portland for well below $500,000. So if you're in the market, let me know. Even though this house right here is probably not available anymore, we can help you get into any other house in Portland. I have access to all of these listings. So thanks to all the listing agents that let me pop in and show these homes to you guys. So I've actually got a client that reached out to me from watching these YouTube videos just like you. He lives right around the corner, so I'm about to go say hey to him. In the meantime, check out this video right here to see another tour like this. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you over there.